What's up, everybody, and thank you for your subscription to Studio1Tutorials.com. This is a special email correspondence that I'm sending out to current subscribers and past subscribers just to give you guys some advice on how to sell your beats, because I'm really grateful to anybody who subscribed to my site, even if it was just for a month. I mean, it helps out so much, it takes a lot of work to do the YouTube and the site, and you guys just recognizing that and just helping me out, it's really a lot. So I want to give you guys this information on how to get better with selling your beats, and I'm gonna get right to it. You got to really just get the fuck off the internet for a little bit, and having your beat stars on point and having your links correct, and having your my flash store and your graphics, and that's all a piece of the game. But if you really want to get to the point that you can have a repeat business, what you need to do is you need to get into studios and you need to connect with the artist. And I'm going to give you an example of how I go about doing that. I just recently got a great connected studio. He's a songwriter. His wife is the artist. Great voice, just amazing talent. We've made some great songs up to this point. I gave him beats on Monday. On Friday they sent me back 5 songs. These are my type of people. Now the situation is, when they hit me up, they had beats for me from like 2 years ago that they got from a mutual acquaintance, and they didn't know how to approach me or anything, because this mutual acquaintance was annoying as fuck and made all my business relationships very crazy. So long story short, we wind up meeting up and they invited me to a studio session. I live about 2 hours away from Miami, and the studio session was in Miami, and I just had to make a choice. I was like, I'm either going to be an internet producer or I'm going to be a record producer, and I am a record producer. So I drove my ass down 2 hours knowing there was going to be a late night session. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the gym at 5, working all day, come home. So I packed my ass 2 Red Bulls and a banana, and I went down there and made sure I didn't, eat no bullshit food, so I didn't fall asleep. Now I get in there, making a great relationship. And the first thing that I pay attention to is my appearance. I don't go in there looking like a wannabe rapper. I go in there looking like I am a musical genius, like I am just at a musical level above everybody. And the way that I pull it off is with my own style. I've got you look at me, I don't look like I'm 20 years old. I got grays in my beard, and I play that shit up. So I come in, all black button down polo shirt, black jeans, brown Cole Haans on. I got the big gold watch on. I got my gold rim glasses on. I got $95 cologne on, just smelling like a bag of money. Because the first thing that you meet when you go into a studio is the receptionist, which is usually some, beautiful Miami girl. So you want to make an impression on them, because you need them to talk about you, and I'm going to come back to that. So you get in the studio, make my acquaintances, bomb. I'm working with this artist who's working on some free time, which means that there's going to be another session coming in, and those are going to be the paying artists, and these are the people that I want to get with. So the once we get to talking, they make me an offer where they want to split the profits of their project that's coming out, and they want to do a 60-40 split on the back end. And that's when I stopped them. I'm like, listen, do you know how to program it so that I get 40% of the profits and you get 60 immediately off the sale? And they're like, no, we don't know how to do that. And I'm like, well, then you're not prepared to offer me that agreement. And if I was dressed in a white tee, it would come off like, like, who the fuck is this guy? But because I've already dressed in like this Miami dope boy businessman costume, they're like, oh, okay, well then what's the word? So now I'm telling them, I'm giving them my counter offer. I'm like, listen, what I want is a song a week, and I want you guys to push my music in the studio. And here's what I'm going to do for you. I'll help you with your graphics. I'll help you with your YouTube SEO, because I've got this channel. They're already familiar with my channel and they love it. So they're like, all right, yeah, that's what's up, because I'm providing all this extra value to them that they wouldn't get from me just emailing them beats. So this is the important part. I've made myself more than just a beat emailer. What I've done is I've positioned myself as part of their movement, as someone who is going to take what they're already doing and pushing it to a new level. And at this point, I'm starting to hear things like, yo, this is God work, and I'm so glad we met you, da 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 da. Once you start to hear stuff like that, then you know that you're in a good relationship. So we get in the studio, and I make it a point, once the new artists to come in, um once the new artists come in, to start blasting my music, and we're listening to the new beats, and the and the studio receptionist is coming in. She's like, yo, because this is what everybody asks in the studio, yo, who made the beat? And everybody's dancing around, vibing, and I'm standing, in front of the board. I don't have my hands in my pocket. I don't look not confident or anything. I got my shoulders rolled back, smelling like my cologne. I got the gold shining off the long sleeve black shirt and everything, looking like I'm there for business. And they're like, the artist who is now acting as my representatives are like, yo, it's him. And they're so excited off of the conversation we just had outside, and they're so hyped up off it. They're like, yo, this is the fucking guy, da 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 da. Which, that's what you need. You need other people to do the talking for you. You can't go into a studio and just be and just be the new guy who wants to fucking throw his dick on the console and act like you're gonna fucking save the day. So I got these guys going. Now everybody wants to dap me up. Hey, what's up? We should work. Ba 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 ba. So I give the person who brought me in there, I give him my BeatStars beat page on the site, so everybody goes to Studio One tutorials. And I'm like, look, if these guys want to use a beat, send them there. Everything's a $19 lease. I made sure I made sure I uploaded my BeatStars with 70 beats that that is all my hottest shit, so they could go ahead and get to it. Boom. Now if they want an exclusive, all I want out of the deal is $200. You could put your tax on it. I don't care. So now I incentivize his hustle, and I also tell him, like, listen, if you got room, if you need room to negotiate, I'll go as low as 150. You know what I'm saying, or even $100, and then you could put your tax on it to make it worthwhile for you. Just give me a call before you do that. And yeah. So I've been selling $300 to $600 out of that studio every week since I started making that agreement. And that's one studio. Again, the whole point was, that's a 2-hour drive for me. And it was totally worth it, because I've made more than a rack in 2 weeks off of that drive. I have another friend in Orlando that I'm getting ready to go check out, who's doing work with Best Believe and BWA, and that's the same situation. Now I'm going up there with the mentality, like, I don't really care if I get a single with Bez, or if Kevin Gates jumps on the record or anything, but I know that there's other artists around him who are going to be trying to get into situations, and people who are recording out of the studio. Because when you got somebody who's got someone famous attached to him, more artists come in, and more artists get more serious about their music. And when you get into a studio and they're paying for studio time, they're also paying for beats, they're paying for videos. They understand that they have to get songs mastered. They understand that they have to buy track outs. They know why you got to spend the $200 for the exclusive, because you need the files. So the whole point of the story is, guys, don't sit down at your fucking computer and think that you're working, because you're not. You're not working. You're not working. You are creating at that point. You need to get out and get on the grind. Literally, you need to step outside your front door. You need to make relationships with somebody in real life. You need to go to a real studio. Even if you got to drive 2 hours to the city, even if you got to drive 3 hours to the city, because what the fuck would you be spending those 3 hours on? Making another beat that you're not going to sell? No, you need to make the business relationship with the people who are buying the beats. And that's the thing. That's how you find the people that are buying beats. You find the people that are buying other services. So studios is a good place to find them. People who are if you know anybody who's into video production and shoots videos, they're like the new producers of the new industry, because they always get paid. People like that. So yeah, man. Again, thank you guys. If you're a current subscriber, you're a past subscriber, hopefully this will inspire you to get the fuck off the computer and just get out there and start making these relationships, because I'm telling you, this is definitely a profitable way to go into the music industry, and don't worry about, like, don't chase the famous person. You know what I mean? The person that you want at this stage in your career, if you're not selling any beats, or if you're only selling a few leases every month, the person that you want is the guy on the come up who's starting to invest in his craft. And these people, they're gonna go in like 1 or 2 year cycles. You know, they a lot of people don't stick with it because it's very expensive. So you got to keep circulating. You can't just find one person. You know, you could ride one for 6 7 months, then you get back in that studio, and then once you're known in the studio as the hot producer, which, you know, you guys are learning every day, you guys are producing every day, you're going to be that. Once you're known as the hot producer, then it becomes way easier, because then you get then you get the receptionist to push your stuff, you get the engineers to push your stuff, you get the rappers to push your stuff. And you know, the engineers are going to want you to be a part of the team, because you're going to bring the city into the studio. But again, if you never go and you never make yourself known through those channels, it's going to be very difficult for you to sell beats. So this is Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions. Thank you for your subscription to Studio1Tutorials.com. Keep it simple, don't be basic. Fucking get outside and sell these beats, and we will see you on the next one.